Hello, everyone. You are listening to The Success Palette, a place to discuss everything that you are not taught in school about how to be successful in the arts. I'm your host, Soda, and today I have Kaesevyn with me to talk about critiques, feedbacks, gatekeeping in the arts, and how we can really help each other by being honest, by being welcoming to new people in whatever sort of medium you work with, whether it's music, visual arts, writing. And what really got me interested in talking to you about this, K7, is your Instagram live last night. You were critiqued on your music and you handled it so well. How did you kind of get into that situation where you reached out to someone to do your critique? And can you talk a little bit about your music, what kind of music you create?
Absolutely. So the first part of that that I'll speak to is the fact that so the kind of music that I make is mostly hip hop. That's what I kind of grew up, my whole life listening to. It's kind of where I get all of my influence and everything like that from. As far as taking criticism, as far as getting it and then processing it, I'm the kind of artist, or at least I've always positioned myself to be the kind of artist that I look more so for feedback from people that don't know who I am, don't know anything about my music, don't know anything about me. I look to those kind of people that will give me those honest critiques, those honest criticisms. And I'll tell them, to their face, like, please don't worry about hurting my feelings. Don't worry about, trying to be nice. I want you to be as honest with me as you possibly can, because as an artist, my job is to get better, right? I don't want to be stagnant. I don't want to do the same thing that I did 2 or 3 projects ago. I don't want to be the same person that I was yesterday. I want to get better, but I can't get better if there are 100 people versus like 5 or 50 that'll tell me, "Oh yeah, man, no, this is great. This sounds good. This is that. Wonderful." No, I look for people when it comes to my art, when it comes to my artistic ability. I look for people to tell me what they don't like and why they don't like it. So that way I can take those critiques, I can take those notes and get better. I have to get better. Otherwise, what am I really doing? Like I said, I've been doing music. I've been making music for 14 years and have just in the last like year and a half dabbled in producing my own arrangements and everything. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm nowhere near the greats, right? I'm nowhere near the level of, a commercial project or, being like a mainstream kind of artist. So as far as I'm concerned, the majority of people that listen to music on a daily basis, they listen to the mainstream artists, they listen to the mainstream sound. So I take that being an independent artist and I want the notes, I want the criticisms. I want you to tell me how much I sound like someone else. So that way I can take that and appreciate it for what you're trying to tell me, because hey, at least you're relating it to someone that, you like, in your music catalog. But I take those notes and I apply it to what I'm doing. So that way, again, I can get better as a writer, get better as an artist, get better with my delivery, with the things that I come up with, and just get better overall. Because I do not for any reason want to be a stagnant kind of artist. The minute that I think for a second that I no longer need to improve, I no longer need to do better, is when I become a crappy artist, when I become, someone who's not deserving of anyone listening to them for 21 seconds or 5 minutes, per song. I don't deserve that. So if I'm gonna put the work in on my side, I've got to do my due diligence and listen to the people that are listening to my songs, even if it's somebody who says something that doesn't align with what I want to hear. But it's not about what I want to hear. It's about what needs to be heard. It's about what needs to be said. So that way I can learn and everyone else in attendance can learn and we can all, get better. We can all go from there.
Completely agree. And I
That's
am
why.
so guilty of being stagnant for a long time because I'm scared sometimes of hearing the truth and hearing what I need to improve on. And sometimes I end up asking the wrong people for
Mm-hmm.
advice and feedback. How do you find, I mean, those two gentlemen that you were getting feedback from last night, they seem to really know what they're talking about. How do
Right.
you find people who can give you actually good criticism?
So there's a saying that I've heard a few years back. Strangers will show you all of the love that you'll ever need. And I take that to heart mainly because, there's a lot of truth to that, like your friends, your family, whoever you're with, your partner, whatever, they're going to tell you because they're biased. They're going to tell you what they think you want to hear. You know what I mean? I like getting the notes, I like getting the feedback, the criticism from complete strangers because they're unbiased. They're not going to sit here and try to be nice to me. They're not going to sit here and know my whole history. They're not going to know who I am. They're not going to know anything about me other than the last 3 minutes of me rapping, singing, whatever. And they're going to give me their honest thoughts and their criticisms about what they heard. And that's what I value a lot more. I can send a song to my best friend, you know 7 times a week, 352 weeks a year, whatever. And they're going to tell me what they think I want to hear. Right. And a lot of times and I've actually gotten away from trying to get validation from friends for the objective purpose of, you know, you're my friend. You know me. You know everything that there is to know about me. You know what I'm trying to do. You know where I'm trying to go. You know everything, yada, yada, yada. So again, you're biased to, help me along with what I think I'm this stranger, this person who's known nothing about me other than the first 5 minutes that I've had introducing myself, they have nothing, over me, with me, nothing. It is what it is. So and then especially if I tell you, to, give me your honest feedback of what my song does for you or what it doesn't do for you. Like I said, I want to know that more than I want to know that you like the song. Great that you like the song. Fantastic. I'm not trying to be facetious when I say it, but it's fantastic that you like the song. But what does that do for me as an artist who's trying to get better? It's great that you like it. You know what I mean? It's another thing for you to share it. It's another thing for you to show it to your friends, listen to it on repeat. That's all well and good and it's fantastic. It's a whole other kind of ball game when you don't like it or you don't like everything about it or you rate it somewhere on a scale of 1 to 10 on the lower side or somewhere close to the middle and you're calling it average, because at that point I'm going to take that you're not saying that it's bad, but this is what you're saying I can improve on. And to me, that as an artist, that is more important than anything in the world, because like I said, I want to get better. I want to make sure that everything that I put out, album, EP, single, mixtape, whatever, I want to make sure that all of that, that I do, everything that I put out is the very best that I can possibly make it. So I will take all of the criticism, I will take all of the notes, and I will apply it to what I'm working on. So that way, whenever I do put this out, whenever I do go live with it, whoever I do show it to, right? This is as best as I can get it with the resources that I have. And I want you to tell me whether or not I'm doing good, I'm going in the right direction, or if I need to go back to the drawing board. And if I need to go back to the drawing board, that is perfectly fine, because that's exactly what I was looking for you to say. You know what I mean?
And once you get that awesome criticism from all these different people, how do you filter out what's actually good criticism, what is bad criticism, things that, if someone like me who's not a musician gives you feedback that conflicts with someone who is a musician, you might realize that maybe my feedback isn't the best. How do you go through that? And how has your education, your experience in music affected your confidence in knowing what criticism to take?
So to preface the answer for that, I've been making music for about 14 years or so. I've gone from literally, biting off of other artists' styles to rapping over other beats, rapping over, things that, I don't know anything about copyright. I don't know anything about plagiarism, anything like that, to being, someone who has decided that, hey, we're going to do all of this in house and we're not going to pay any money to anybody other than ourselves because, copyright, and we don't have enough money to deal with that, in open court. But to filter through what is good criticism and what's just someone being a hater, it's really the way that they phrase it, and it's really the way that they execute giving me the note, right? So take for example the two gentlemen last night. um first and foremost, I always tell anyone who's going to give me criticism, I always let them know, hey, look, do not be afraid of hurting my feelings, do not be afraid of saying the wrong thing, because as far as I'm concerned, you're never going to say the wrong thing when you're criticizing me, because all of what you think is wrong to say, I'm going to take it and run with it anyways, because as far as I'm concerned, that's something that I didn't think about when I wrote this song. That's something I didn't think about when I recorded this. You know what I mean? So to filter out what's good advice and what's not good advice, it really does depend on what's being said, and how they say it. If you say to me something like, hey, look, your beat was fantastic, I really vibed with it, I like this, I like that, but your lyrics didn't really do it for me, you know what I mean? Something like that. I know the kind of person that I am. I was born in the 90s. So a lot of the things that I do tend to put in into my music, a lot of it is like, very similar, very adjacent to early 2000s, like everything before 2010, kind of hip hop, kind of rap. So I'm kind of old school when you really think of it, or when you really sit back and listen to what I say or how I say it. So that in and of itself doesn't really bother me. But what would bother me would be, you're telling me, hey, you don't like my songs, you don't like anything about me as an artist, but you're also not offering me any suggestions or any kind of advice to get better, right? You're wasting your and my time by telling me that you don't like me. That's fine that you don't like me, man. There's over 8 billion people in this world, and I'm pretty sure at least 25% of that 8 billion make music. Go find someone else to listen to at that point, right? But if you're telling me, hey, look, this is what I like the song, but this is what I would have done different, I'll listen to that. Okay, I see why you say that. Okay, I can look back at the song, keep your thought in mind. Damn, okay, I see exactly what they were saying. So my biggest thing is, whenever I get criticism, I like to look for it from strangers as opposed to people that know me and know a lot about me. And just, ultimately, to filter out between what's good advice and what's not good advice is telling me something, because I'm a one-man army, so to speak, right? I do everything myself, from writing to mixing, mastering, marketing, everything that there is to do for music. I do it all myself. So when you tell me something that I've never thought of before, right? It's not to be egotistic, but I take that into consideration because, well, damn, I didn't think of that. Why didn't I do it that way? Why didn't I do it like this? You know what I mean? And I value that kind of creativity, because it's always better. It's always more fun to be, in a session with someone than it is to do it all by yourself. I value people that think differently than I do, because of how much of what I do is fueled by just me and my thoughts and my feelings. So I take it to heart, and I take so much pride in hearing someone else critique me, because as far as I'm concerned, you either like it or you don't. And if you don't like it, I would hope that as an artist, as a professional, that you would tell me how to get better, because I dislike so much in my profession, in life in general. I hate keeping, uh, beneficial information from anyone for any reason.
Yeah, and we before we started recording, you kind of talked a little bit about that on the importance of us giving feedback to others and being giving honest feedback. And sometimes we feel that maybe we're being mean by telling the truth, but you were talking about kind of the what was the example that you were talking about? I think it was of Adam and Eve or something like that. I thought that was
Right.
very
So
intriguing.
yeah, no. So to go off of that, if I have information or if I have certain keys to success that another artist in my field or just adjacent to what I'm doing can utilize for the benefit of their career or whatever it is that they're doing, I would be a fool and I'd be a criminal, so to speak, if I didn't give them that, right? Don't get me wrong. Yes, for all intents and purposes, we treat making music like it's a competition. Everyone's got to be the best something, best songwriter, best rapper, best singer, best whatever, right? My honest opinion is that there's more than enough love. There's more than enough money. There's more than enough whatever it is that you're chasing, whatever it is that you want. There's more than enough success at the top. So why then should we, treat this field as a dog eat dog kind of competition? Why can't we just help each other? Right? You want the same thing that I want. At the end of the day, and let's call a spade a spade. You want to be able to utilize your music or whatever it is that you're doing with your art to pay your bills. You want to be able to live off of this. You want this to be your job. You want to be able to wake up and do nothing else except this. Why can't we both help each other get there? Why do I have to tear you down in order to get to where I want to be? Why do I need to be torn down so that you can get to where you want to be? If I can open the door, right, for the next 10 artists to get through just to speak with somebody on the other side, why would I deny those 10 their opportunity, right? I'm the one who got a chance to open the door in the first place. So as far as I'm concerned, if I'm gonna be the one who gets to open the door first, well, I'm gonna hold it open for as many people as I possibly can because that's just right. If they reciprocate it or not, that's on them. But I feel like it's my job as an artist, it's my job as a human being to help as many people on this planet as I possibly can before I'm gone. So when it comes to music, I'm not gonna deny anyone the opportunity to make something of themselves if that's what they really want to do. You've got to prove to me at some point that you deserve it, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there, right? And until we do get there, like I said, I'm not gonna stop you from being great. I'm going to root for you. I'm going to give you everything that I possibly can to be great, even if it means being greater than me. I'm going to give you that for as much as I can. So that way, when you do make it, I would only hope that you don't forget about me. And if you do, that's fine because I'm still doing my thing. But big ups to you and congrats to you for taking yourself right where you need to be at, despite what I am or am not able to do for you.
I love that mentality, and I think we need more of that because in some communities, like it gets bad. Just this jealousy, the tearing each other down.
Mhm.
How do you not get jealous or compare when you realize that you do have a lot more to work on, and you see these other people who their music, their art, whatever is just you feel is so much ahead of you. What are some ways that you could keep that confidence and not be scared of the honest criticism that you're receiving?
The first thing that I have to remember in every situation is that regardless of what I think, regardless of how I feel, there are always going to be people that are just better than me. It is just an inevitable fact. There are going to be people that rap better than I do, write better than I do, mix, produce, master, whatever it is. There are going to be people in this world that exist that are just way better than I am. I am not always going to be the smartest person in the room. I'm not always going to be the most talented. But knowing that and keeping that humility allows me to do the things that I do and move in the ways that I do. Because again, I want to get better. So when I run into someone who is better than me, I'm going to shut up and I'm going to take notes. I'm going to start doing my homework because, oh my God, this person has it going on. They know what they're doing. They were ready 2, 3 hours before they even got here. And here I am just now getting ready. I'm in the wrong. I need to I need to stop what I'm doing, put the phone down and pay attention. You know what I mean? I don't care if it's the cadence. I don't care if it's the technique. I don't care whatever it is that they're doing. I need to make sure that I walk out of here smarter and better than I was when I walked in. I have to. It is not, it's mandatory that I do, right? So dealing with feelings of like inadequacy or jealousy or anything like that, there's no way to avoid it. There's just in 14 years of doing music, there's just no way to avoid it at all. What I will tell you is that for as envious or as jealous as you can be of someone doing what you do better than you, don't look at it like, they're better than you and they think they're better than you. Well, pick their brain, right? Pick their brain, see what makes them better. See what makes them do what they do differently than you, because for all you know, they'll give you, they'll give it to you. They're waiting for someone to ask them, how do you do this? How do you do that? They're waiting for someone like that, the same way you're waiting to be the one to tell somebody, right? To give someone the keys to success. They're waiting just like you are. So pick their brain, make them feel good. You don't got to, necessarily stroke their ego or kiss ass, so to speak, but it's more beneficial for everyone involved if you choose to learn from your peers, learn from whom you're around, learn from the opportunities that you're graced with, as opposed to sitting there being upset, being, envious, being a sore loser. I have no problem whenever I invite someone to feature on a song or collaborate with. I have no problem, man, if you are the better artist on this song. I'm going to give you your props in the studio and also when we put it out, because that's just how good you are to me. You're so much better than me that you've waxed me on my own song. I'm not gonna not put that out, man. It's a dope song. It's great. It's wonderful. And I'd be a criminal if I tried to hide this from someone because of my own insecurities. My own insecurities will hit me so hard that'll tell me, hey, listen, if we have the opportunity to, at the very least, you can go back and redo your verse. You can go back and redo this. So that way, at the very least, you're not, you know, greater than them on the song, but at the very least, you're up to par. And I look for other artists to be better than me. So that way, again, I learn the way I get better. You know what I mean? You can wax me on a song. I don't care, man. As long as you do me a favor and teach me rather than ridicule me, educate me instead of making fun of me, I'm going to do everything in my power to learn as much as I can from you in this one session. And then who knows, we may have 5 or 10 sessions after this. And I continue to learn from you until I surpass you, or at the very least get on the same level as you. There's more than enough room at the top or wherever it is that we're trying to go to get, to have love for each other, to have respect for each other, to share the money, to do everything that we need to do. I don't need to tear you down. I don't need to have this crabs in a barrel mentality, you know what I mean, just to have a career. I don't care if you make it before I do. The fact that I know you, the fact that I've had the opportunity to be graced in your presence, to be honored by you featuring on one of my songs where I'm just in this room making it by myself, is enough for me to say that, hey, this person has respect for me and I'm going to give them that respect back no matter what. I want it to always be a thing of love and camaraderie whenever I'm working with anybody, whether it be a stranger or someone I've known for the last decade. I need you to know I'm always going to be the same person on camera as I am off camera. So I've got to show you that. I can't just tell you.
That was powerful. That was powerful, dude. Like, if everybody in the arts had that mentality, like, this world would be a different place.
Absolutely.
We wouldn't be scared of AI. We wouldn't be scared of not being respected because we would be actually supporting each other. So I'm so glad that you talked about that. And oh, I love it so much. And I know you do quite a bit of collaborations. The song that I did listen to from you, I believe your wife was collaborating with you, right?
Yes,
How does
yes,
that
ma'am.
work? Do you give feedback to each other? I know feedback from my spouse is
Mhm,
very uncomfortable because he's like really blunt, but
mhm.
um
So,
how is that
so
working with your wife?
So it actually works the same way that it does with strangers. Me and my wife, we have this connection, we have this kind of communication. One that it just didn't happen overnight, right? It took years to build, but we both agreed to refuse to not educate the other one, right? I'm not gonna sit here and tell you what you think you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what I actually hear, and I'm going to be objective with it because, hey, look, you're trying to do this. And for as much as I respect that you're trying to do this, what you're doing right now is not cutting it. I'm not sorry. It's not cutting it. You need to do better. Because what you're going for and what you're doing right now are two totally different things. And let me tell you something, if you're going to put this out like this, it's not going to work. And I'm telling you now, it's not going to work. So don't be surprised that if you do put it out in this state, that it doesn't work. So the song in particular, for those out there listen, it's called Some of That. um, that song came about. I was under the influence, and i I was playing around with some samples, royalty free, by the way, just in case anyone wants to get their copyright knickers in a bunch. I was playing around with some samples, and I'm doing I'm making the beat and everything. Excuse me. And I've heard my wife just like casually sing some of her favorite songs. Um, and I tell her, I said, babe, you have an amazing voice. And I really want to harness that for what I'm trying to do here. And I know that you're shy. I know that you don't do this in the depths that I do. But I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think this song will be as great as it possibly can be without your voice. It's just not going to happen. I'll put this song out and it'll flop. But you, on the other hand, you'll take this song to higher heights than I ever could. Um, but to piggyback off of what you said earlier, when it comes to like using AI in music, the way that I look at things nowadays is I respect every and all kinds of resources that I'm able to put my hands on. In some ways, using AI to create music is extremely disrespectful to the art form. However, when you're utilizing it in a sense where it's only, helping you, create or paint the picture of whatever your vision is for this song, I don't see a problem, right? If you're like me, if you're anything like me, right? Everything that I do, it's basically by myself until I work up the courage to go ask somebody, hey, can you help me with this? Once I get past my little inadequacies, or once, I get past my little insecurities about asking someone to be on a song with me, right? In any case, like, listen, as far as I'm concerned, this is just a working demo. And I want to get this working demo as great as I can before I go show it to someone else who will really deliver on this song. So in some cases, right, using I mean, it is what it is, man. Whether you're using it for chord progression or using it to change a voice or do whatever, right? As long as you're respecting the resource and as long as you're respecting the art form when you do it, and not just like having AI write a song, create a song, and then you putting it out like, yeah, you did it all yourself, right? I don't see a problem. But to put a button on your question, um, getting my wife to do the song with me. She's actually on a few songs throughout the album, but getting her to get her voice, on some of the tracks that are on there, it was an uphill battle. Because she's a lot shyer than I am. Again, I've been doing this for so long, and she's only got so much exposure and experience to it. So trying to get her to look past her own insecurities and her own inadequacies that she feels, just to deliver a grandstanding performance on the track. Um, again, a lot of it was, trying to help her build up her self-esteem, build up her confidence, you know what I mean? And just telling her, like, look, babe, I'm gonna be honest with you. Again, if I don't get you on this song, I'm gonna have to go cheat. I'm gonna have to go do something else to get this song to where it needs to be at. And then in that process, I'll probably make the song sound like trash. Whereas you're right here. And I know how to mix and master. I know how to do all of the whatevers to your voice or whatever to give you the vocal presence that this track needs. And I can't hear anybody else's voice. I can't hear anybody else's work, on this other than yours. So if you don't help me, and it's no ultimatum, but if you don't help me, it's that this song is just not going out. It'll just be on the cutting room floor, and it just is what it is.
And because you're so honest, like this is how I think of my husband. My husband's very honest. He'll tell me if what I make sucks. He'll tell me if I'm boring. He'll tell me whatever. But when he gives me a compliment, like you gave her a compliment, you know that it's sincere because you're not just flowery, giving what they want to hear. How can we,
Right.
what's just as important, in my opinion, as giving this criticism is really boosting each other up when we deserve to be boosted, especially in the beginning. I know I really needed some, maybe not, oh, you're such a great artist, but maybe, hey, I love your, work ethic or your consistency or something. What are some ways that we can encourage each other without giving false uplifting feedback, if that makes sense?
No, absolutely. It makes a lot of sense. The first thing, the the first step to solving a problem is admitting that there is one. Number one, right? Um, if you, if my wife decided, hey babe, I want to make music. I want to do an album. I want to do a something, right? I can only take what you're telling me at face value until you show me that you're serious. If you show me that you're oh so serious, just as I am, or beyond what I do for my own stuff, if you show me that you're serious, I will back you, no doubt, 100%. I will give you everything that you need. I will give you all of my time, all of my attention. I will make sure that this is the best thing that we both put our names on at the time. If you are just telling me that you want to do this, it'd be cool, it'd be nice, it'd be whatever. If you're finicky with me, I'm going to be finicky with you, and I'm not going to take you serious. I'm only going to take you serious when you show me that you're serious. So that's what lets me know how to give advice, how to support somebody when you show me that you're serious about what you're doing, right? I'm not, and I refuse to waste your time or waste your energy or waste giving attention to something that you're not serious about. So that way we can both come together as a partnership. We can both come together as two individuals and figure out what's going to work and what's going to satisfy us both. If if for whatever reason, we can't at the very least compromise on, something to do, well, then we'll just agree to disagree. Hey, look, this is the way that I feel about it. This is what I think. You feel and think differently. So we'll table this for another time if you'd like to come back to it. And if you don't want to, well, that's fine, but it's on the table. The offer is still there. I can still do this for you if you want to, but I'm not going to waste my time, and I'm not going to let you waste my time just in the same, in the same question. I'm not going to waste your time, and I'm not going to want to waste your time. I'm not going to want to waste your energy when it comes to this. I'm very, I'm a very passionate person when it comes to music. If I did not have my wife, if I did not have my kids, if I didn't have anything going for me except music, and then I lost music, I would be a shell of a person. I would 100% not, I would feel like I don't have anything else in the world tying me to the world. That being said, for as passionate as I am, as for as, for as much as I want music to work for me and my family, I refuse to treat it as anything like a hobby or anything less than someone serious until they give me reason not to believe that they're serious about it. You know what I mean? Um, but I will say that when it comes to supporting her and the things that she wants to do, it takes a level of communication that you have to foster over some time to execute and communicate properly what they need to hear versus what they want to hear. You want to hear that, the person that you're with supports you. You want to hear that they like what you're doing. But if they're anything like your husband or like me, I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, because as far as I'm concerned, you're serious about this and I want you to get better. And if you're asking me from a fan's perspective, from just a viewer perspective, no, this is boring. I'm going to tell you right now, it's boring. This is not the best that you can do. And I think you can do better. So before you put this out, I would revisit this point, this, and this. And then if you don't, that's on you. It's still it's still your call. It's still your choice. But if you're asking me, and for all intents and purposes, you are, this is what you need to do to get better if you want to get better. But then I got to I got to leave the ball in your court, because at the end of the day, it's your choice. It's your prerogative to do or not to do what I'm advising or suggesting that you do to get better or to, master your craft.
Yeah, and when going back to what you said about what someone needs, something I had to learn because I come from a very, very sugarcoat family where we just, oh, it's so great.
Mhm.
We are not confrontational. And then again, my husband's family, they're very blunt, and
Yes.
it was very difficult for us for a long time, but something that we had to be really honest with each other, and he had to be like, okay, do you want this a hobby or do you want this a business? And then he would ask me, okay, now do you want constructive feedback or do you want a confidence boost? Because if you
Mhm.
just want a confidence boost and this is just a hobby for you, then I'll give that to you. But if
Right.
and so the person asking for feedback, I'm realizing, has a responsibility to tell them, hey, I'm just feeling nervous and I just need a confidence boost. That's what I need.
Mhm.
But if you want feedback, you have to be open to that
Absolutely.
honest feedback and have
Absolutely.
that honest communication, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's nothing, for me, there's nothing more disrespectful, regardless of your craft. There's nothing more disrespectful than being facetious. Nothing more disrespectful. I don't care what you think I want to hear. I need you to tell me, especially because I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to do more than what I'm doing now. I need you to tell me what I need to hear, especially if it's something that you think I don't want to hear. That's what I need to hear the most. I want you to tell me, hey, babe, listen to me. I love you so much, but this song is garbage. This song is not going to get you to where you think it's going to put you. It's not going to happen. I'm going to be honest with you, right? Babe, we listen to music all the time. We do this, we do that. I've heard every song that you've ever worked on, every song you've ever put out before it got put out, and I'm telling you right now, this is not you. This is not the direction you need to walk. You need to go in for this project. This is not what you need to do. If you do this, I need you to understand that I do understand why you did this. I understand where you were trying to go, but I need you to know that I'm not going to support you because I don't like it. I don't agree with it. I don't think this is you. I think this is something completely far beyond your scope or something completely beyond your identity as an artist that I can't rock with this. I just can't, and I'm not gonna. So don't ask me to pretend. Don't ask me to like it. Don't ask me to share it or anything like that because I don't agree with it. I don't like it. And I will take conversations like that to heart. I won't take it personal like it's an attack, but I will take it to where, if she feels so strongly about this and what I'm trying to do, song title, lyrics, chorus, beat selection, whatever, if she doesn't like it and she's telling me all of this in depth, in detail, damn, it really must be that bad. I must really be in my own zone and I'm so far gone that I am so far removed from objectivity that this is my wake up call. This is what I need to hear right now because otherwise, no, babe, it's great. No, I like it. You could do this, you could do that. You could. you could do this for the chorus, you could do this for the hook. But if she's telling me in so many words that this is not the right move to make, in my heart of hearts, as an artist and as a person and as a husband, I'm going to make sure that I take the criticism in stride and run with it, because she knows I want to get better. She knows that I want to do this for the rest of my life. And as far as I'm concerned, there's nobody else that I run music by, demo or otherwise, before I put it out, saying, hey, does this sound okay? You listen to everything that I do literally all the time. If no one knows better about what to do, what not to do, other than me, it's you. So if you're telling me no, shit, it must be no. Fuck it. We're going back to the drawing board.
Absolutely, that completely makes sense, and I love how you have such a great, honest relationship with yourself and the people that you work with. And before I go into my last question, which I think is probably the most important question about this, I want to hear a little bit about your album, what inspired your album, where people can find you.
Again, the album's called Underground Heart. It's on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube Music, Tidal, Deezer, Amazon Music, wherever it is people stream, their favorite songs, their favorite artists. The It came out February 2nd this year, 2024. It is a project that it took form and it took shape over the course of a year and a half. At first, it was just a mix mash of songs that, hey, I'm just now getting into, producing my own music. I'm just now getting into trying to do everything in house. And then, unfortunately, excuse me, a year ago on the second, February 2nd, 2023, my mom passed away, and my wife and one of my older brothers actually found her. So over the course of, over the second course of the year and a half, a lot of it was spent, being under the influence, drinking every night, smoking, and just, doing something to feel anything other than depression and despair of, damn, I really don't want to do this anymore. But then at the same time, I also know my mom, before she passed away, she was actually one of my biggest fans, because everything that I made, every song, everything, she's like, okay, I see what you did there. And she would critique me. She would give me the notes like, hey, listen, I understand what you're trying to do and it sounds good, but baby, I don't think you could get that on the radio. Baby, I don't think anyone's going to listen to that because you're doing this, right? So the whole gist of the project is really a journey. It's a journey through, through someone's, mental health. It's a day in the life of someone who's trying to make it and also juggle their feelings, their thoughts, their emotions, just on an everyday level. My goal with the music that I make and with everything that I do is I want people to resonate with what I'm talking about. I grew up in a house. I grew up being a person that felt like he never had a voice. He never really had a say in what happened to him or what happened with the stuff that he did. So now that I don't have those limitations anymore, now that I don't have anything or anyone necessarily holding me back, you know, I I can't help but write about what I think. I can't help but write about what I feel and hope that somebody somewhere listens to it. And, even if I'm not someone's favorite artist, they understand where I'm coming from. They understand what I feel. They understand what I think, and they agree like, damn, man, sometimes I do feel like that too. And I'm glad that you're confident enough and have enough courage to put a song or put a project out and be as vulnerable about it as you are. And hands down, in the 14 years I've been doing this, Underground Heart is the most vulnerable I've ever been. I'm usually the kind of person who clams up a lot and doesn't really speak to, um, the things that I feel or the things that I think about, because I'm afraid of being judged by people. But then that's also why I take the position of not judging anyone and not, putting people through the things that I'm afraid of, because I don't want that to happen to me. I want, even if you don't listen to the whole project, even if you don't care about what I'm doing, the fact that you took time out of your day to listen to a couple of songs on it is enough for me, you know? And coming from a place of not being able to speak, not being able to say anything, not being able to have a say in anything, it's kind of why I made this. You know what I mean? It's showing people that it is okay to not be okay with the things that have happened to you, as long as you do it in a way that, you're addressing your traumas, you're addressing everything that's happened to you in a healthy manner, so that you can move forward, so that you can be better if you want to be.
I really connected with that, and I'm excited to listen. I sort of I follow you on Spotify, so I should have,
It's
obviously I was
no, it's
thinking about
okay. The the beautiful part about, telling people my side of the story before they go listen to the music, I find that once you hear it from me and then you go listen to the music, it makes it connect, that much more. But it's okay if it's the other way around. You know what I mean? You hear the music first and then you get the explanation afterwards. You know, again, my whole goal, at least with Underground Heart, is just to have it resonate with somebody. I don't care if, you're just driving along somewhere and it comes on and you're just vibing to it, or, you're in your feels and fuck it, you know what I mean? This is what's going on. And he's saying exactly what I feel in this moment. That's great. I'm glad that I can give you something that you relate to. I'm glad that you have something, or you feel enough I'm talking about, to feel like you're not alone in what you feel. Because honest to God, for the year and a half that it took me to make this album, when I admittedly, when I tell you the feelings of depression, the feelings of despair, all of the pressure that it took to get through this album, there were several times where I wanted to quit music as a whole. And I had to keep thinking, I had to keep pushing through. What would my family think if I gave up? What would my mom think if I gave up? What would my dad think if I gave up? If I give up now, I'm giving up on everything I've worked for, everything I've worked up to this point. And do I really want to be known as a? I've already dropped out of college twice. Like, let's just call a spade a spade. If I quit on music, the one thing that I've had literally all my life, at that point, I'm not anything. I can't be anything. I don't deserve it. I'm a quitter. And I refuse at this point to be a quitter when it comes to explaining and expounding on what I feel, on what I think, and spreading the message of it's okay to not be okay. It's fine to be fucked up, because a lot of us are. But a lot of us are afraid of being judged, and a lot of us are afraid of what other people are going to think because of how fucked up we got. And I want to be the catalyst for those artists, those people, those whatever, they identify themselves as. I want to be the person that you look to and get the inspiration of, it's okay to not have it all together. I didn't have it all together for a year and a fucking half. And then before that, my father died in 2010. I didn't have it together for 8 whole years. So as far as I'm concerned, music be damned, career aside, it is okay to be messed up. It is okay to not have everything together. It's okay to not have everything figured out, as long as you're trying to figure it out. If you've just given up, that's not okay. If you're trying, and you're trying your damnedest, that's all I need. That's all I need from you. I just need to know that you're trying, because then at that point, I will support you with whatever you need. I will give you whatever you need. I will make the time. I will be there. I will answer the phone. I will answer a text, an email, whatever, and I will make sure that you don't feel as alone as I do, or as I did when I was making this album.
That was so powerful, and it kind of goes along with my last question that I find very important, that you talked a little bit on the live last night, and that
Mhm.
is, why did you make this album, and what is it for you, or is it for your fans? I know you want to inspire your fans. You want to, you're talking about, you want people to listen and be, uplifted and relate to your message, but it was also a healing thing for you.
Absolutely.
What would you say is the number one purpose of creating your album, and why you want it to be the best it could possibly be?
In in all totality, everything that I put my hands on when it comes to music, it has to be the absolute best that it can be, for the simple purpose of it being the best that it could possibly be. I need to exhaust every and all resources that I have in my disposal for making music, because I don't want to stagnate. I don't want to just kind of bottom out. I don't want to peak. I have to get better, right? For making this album for the fans, when I make music, I have to remind myself a lot. And actually, my wife said it best when I was making the album, because for a while there, like I said, I was under the influence. For a while there, it really did sound like the songs were, just a pity party. She told me, like, listen to me, I love you, but it really sounds like you just want people to feel sorry for you. And I don't, because of who you are. I'm here, baby. I know, I see everything that's going on, and I don't feel sorry for you, because we still got to do shit. We still have to get up. We still have to go and do this. We still have to take care of everything, and neither one of us have the time to sit around and mope around and, oh, woe is me, kind of attitude. For making the album for fans, I wanted to give them something, that it's not too personal, but just personal enough to show them and invite them into, hey, this is where I've been for the last year and a half. This is where I've been mentally for the past, I don't know how long. I want you guys to know where I'm at. I want you to know why I haven't been doing anything, why everything's been going on the way it has, and everything like that. I don't want to keep you guys in the dark. For me, it was a healing process when, when we finalized the album, when we, sent everything off to distribution. It was a healing process, because now, okay, all of the trauma's gone. All of the everything, all of the ends, all of the loose ends are tied. All of the everything that we wanted to say, everything we wanted to address, everything that I had bottled up inside of me since my mom's passing or before, I got to say it. And no one told me that I couldn't. So for me, it's therapeutic in the sense that I got to say everything that I wanted to about everything that was going on, whether or not people caught it, or whether or not people caught it. For the fans, I wanted to give them something new, because before Underground Heart, I had never really done a project all by myself. I never really believed in my own ability that I could do it. So halfway through, it was more like a challenge of, don't use anybody else's production, make your own, just do it all yourself. And then once we get through this, we can revisit someone else's production. We can revisit someone else's whatever. um that being said, it's for the fans, because I want to give them something that they can resonate to. I want to give them something that they can connect with each other over, or connect with me over, because you guys aren't alone. We're all fucked up in our own ways, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. For me, it's therapeutic in that me putting this out means that I no longer have to hold on to it. I can send it off and be a better person now. I can let it go. You know what I mean? For for all intents and purposes, this album, it means the world to me, because it's the culmination of 14 years worth of holding on to feelings and thoughts and emotions that I never got to talk about. And I never got to be as personal about everything as I wanted to. It was always like very subliminal message. It was always very, you know, kind of walking around on eggshells with subjects and with people. And I finally get to say what I want to say. And it doesn't really matter to me whether people agree with it or disagree with it, don't like it, do like it, or indifferent. I get to heal. I get to heal. And that's the most important thing to me about this album. I get to heal, and hopefully I inspire others to heal from what they've gone through as well.
And I'm so excited that I was able to talk with you before I listened to the whole album, because listening to what it's about
Mhm.
and how much it meant to you, like that this idea of feeling silenced for so long, that's something so many of us can relate to. So I really, really appreciate you sharing that with me. I know there are a ton of different places you could be late on a Saturday night. So I appreciate it so much, and I know this message will relate to a lot of my listeners, and I'm excited to share it out and share your music and just your message. It was really, really beautiful. So thanks again, Kaesevyn. And if there's any last things you want to say before we end, I'd love to hear them.
Yeah. First and foremost, just thank you so much for the opportunity. For all intents and purposes, just like you said, on your own accord, so many different things you could have been doing on a Saturday night, and here you are talking with me. So one, I appreciate the hell out of you for allowing me to say my piece. And then for all of your listeners and all of my listeners tuning in, we live in a day and age where it's extremely easy to be susceptible to all of the vices, all of the negative influence that there can be on our lives. And I want everyone to remember that as long as you like yourself, as long as you're in a place where you can like yourself, improvement, betterment, any kind of upgrading, adaptability that you can do for yourself, it is possible. It does not have to be the end of the road for you. It doesn't have to be the end of the world. If you want to get better, seek out those who want to get better right with you so that you can support them and they can support you, just off the strength of everybody needs somebody. And for everyone under the sound of my voice, I do have, just a little saying that I want to impart on everyone. If you don't feel loved, if you don't feel anyone cares about you, if you haven't heard in the last 24 to 48 hours, I love you, I love you. I love everything about you. I love everything that you do. I love the fact that you are here at this point. I love the fact that you exist. You may not know who I am. I don't know who you are, but that doesn't stop me from loving you. And I want to make sure that you understand that I do love you. And I don't care if I don't know your name. I don't care if I don't know where you come from or where you're trying to go. I love you. I will do everything in my power as a human being on this planet to support you in everything that you do, as long as you continue to try to be better. But thank you so much for having me. I really do appreciate the time that you've taken out of your day, out of your life to let me speak. And I couldn't be more grateful for the opportunity. So thank you so much. Drifting off out of space till I can't feel my face, or till I catch a fucking case, 'cause it's all I've got.